Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to define stress. Now stress is nothing but resisting force per unit area. Stress is nothing but resisting force per unit area on which force is applied. Area on which force is applied. Let's say here if I consider one element, let's say this is the element, and for this element, let's say I am applying force on this area. Let's say my applied force is like this P is applied force, this is our applied force, right? Now, and the force is applied on this hatched area, this is the area on which force is applied. Now for this applied force, the component will try to deform. Because of this applied force, the component will try to deform, and for this deformation there will be resistance in the element. For this deformation there will be resisting force, this is a resisting force in the element, right? Now, and because of this resisting force there will be stress. That means here stress is nothing but resisting force divided by area on which force is applied. Now as per Newton's third law, here as per Newton's third law, for action there is equal and opposite reaction. Therefore, P is your action. For this action, R is your reaction. Therefore, I can write P is equal to R. Therefore, again, stress is equal to resisting force divided by area is equal to applied force divided by area. This is how we can write. Now, what will be the unit of stress? Here, force divided by area. Unit of force is Newton. Unit of area is meter square. And Newton per meter square is called Pascal. Right? And means 1 Pascal. 1 Pascal is nothing but 1 Newton per meter square. Again 1 kilopascal, 1 kilopascal, kilo means 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 3 Newton per meter square. If I talk about 1 megapascal, MPa, 1 megapascal, mega means 10 to the power 6, 10 to the power 6 Newton per meter square. Again, how can I write this? 10 to the power 6 Newton. If I convert meter into mm, 1 meter is nothing but 10 to the power 3 mm, and square this, square mm square. This 10 to the power 6 and 10 to the power 6 will get cancelled. This will become Newton per mm square. That means 1 megapascal is nothing but 1 Newton per mm square, right? And generally we are putting dimensions in mm. That's why I am dictating this unit conversion. Again 1 gigapascal, GPa is nothing but 10 to the power 9 Newton per meter square, or 10 to the power 3 MPa. 10 to the power 3 MPa, that is 10 to the power 3 Newton per mm square. Now friends, this stress is induced due to the resisting forces. Stress in the component is always due to the resisting forces, but the nature of stress is defined by the applied forces. Nature of stress is defined by the applied forces means nature is nothing but either stress is tensile, if whether stress is tensile, or stress is compressive, or stress is compressive, or stress is shear. Stress may be a shear also, right? Now tensile stresses are considered as positive stresses, compressive stresses are considered as negative stresses. Now if applied force is tensile, then stress will be tensile. If applied force is compressive, stress will be compressive. And if applied force is shear to the area, then stress will be shear. Means applied force will define the nature of stress, but stress is induced due to the resisting forces. Hence, very important on and special note, whenever a component is free to deform or free to expand or contract due to change in temperature, then stress in the component is zero. That means whenever component is free to deform or free to expand or contract due to change in temperature, then stress in the component is zero. Free means the component is stress free. With though there is a applied force, but if component is free, then it is stress free. For example, let's say if I consider water, let's say this is a water, and in this water if a component of mass m is dropped, if I drop this into water, now the water will deform immediately without any resistance. With negligible shear resistance, the water will deform. and if component is free to deform, then stress in that component will be zero. That means stress in water will be zero. Again, whenever a component is free to move away, then stress in the component will be zero. Let's say this is a very smooth surface, and on this surface, if a body is kept or a component is kept, this is a very smooth surface. That means coefficient of friction is zero over here. And if I apply load P, then due to this load, there will be motion in the component. And it becomes a mechanics problem. And here stress in the component will be zero because there is no resistance for the motion. The component will move because of the applied force. There will be no resistance, hence there will be no stress in the component. Again, if any component is free to expand or contract due to change in temperature, then the stress in the component will be zero. Again, very important note for the stress is that this stress is second order tensor quantity. It is a second order tensor quantity. Now, what is the meaning of tensor quantity? That we will see in next lecture. As of now, remember, this is very important note, and in coming lectures we are going to differentiate stress and pressure. Pressure is a scalar quantity and stress is a tensor quantity. In that difference, we will see why stress is a tensor quantity and why pressure is called as a scalar quantity. Thank you, students. In next lecture we will classify stresses.